Welcome back to Reflect Politics. My name is Brendan Plank. Kristi Noem went on to CNN today to try to justify Elon Musk going into the Treasury Department and essentially auditing the Treasury Department without any oversight, not swearing an oath to the Constitution, not being elected. And of course, things fell apart when Kristi Noem tried to revert back to her usual ways of attacking the federal government.
Reporting that Musk and his Doge team have access to FEMA's sensitive disaster data, which includes personal information about tens of thousands of disaster victims. Have you authorized Elon Musk and his team to have access to Americans' personal data that is housed inside DHS?
Yeah, we're working with them at the president's direction to find what we can do to make our department much more efficient. So I think it's important. This is essentially an audit of the federal government, which is very powerful and needs to have happen. That agency, and one of the things I've been very clear to the appropriators in the Senate and the House is please give me the authority to reprogram funds. There's funds
but that's different from him having access to personal data that is housed in
the president has authorized him to have access.
And you feel comfortable?
So absolutely.
I remember a time when Republicans were very careful about and worried about the government, particularly unelected people.
Well, we can't trust our government anymore.
Having access to personal data.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You are the government.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, is that the American people now are saying that we have had our personal information shared and out there in the public.
Elon Musk has access to it.
Yeah, but Elon Musk is part of the administration that is helping us identify where we can find savings and what we can do. And he has gone through the processes to make sure that he has the authority.
You're totally
the president has
comfortable
granted
with it.
him. I am today by the work that he's doing by identifying waste, fraud, and abuse. And his information that he has is looking at programs, not focusing on personal data and information.
Not focusing on it, but he has access to it.
We'll be continuing to talk to him about what all he has access to. But this audit needs to happen to make sure that we are going through a process that adds integrity back into these programs. And people's personal information has been out there in these caseworks that have been closed for a long time, that people are getting responses now that they haven't had before.
Last question.
Kristi Noem, you are the government. The look on her face when she realized, oh, that's right. We have the White House, the Senate, Congress. She herself is a Trump cabinet official, and here she is talking about how we can't trust the federal government. Dadoy. See, you can kind of split it into two segments here, right? You've got MAGA, and then you've got the rest of the country. Neither trust the government, but MAGA doesn't trust the government because they've been lied to relentlessly, day in, day out, hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second, by Trump, the Republican Party, the Fox Newses, the conservative media outlets, the alt-right online personalities who are getting paid by Russians. They're just getting fed these lies. And so, of course, they don't believe the federal government. And now maybe they're changing their tune. Now well, Big Daddy Donald Trump is in there. So, of course, we don't mind that the illegal immigrant, Elon Musk, is now just has unfettered access to all of America's personal information. But then you've got the rest of the country who we've watched what Donald Trump has done. We've watched him try to attack our government on January 6th and then turn around, win the election in 2024, and then pardon the people who violently assaulted police officers that day. We saw him steal classified documents and then hide them when the Department of Justice asked them to be returned. We've seen him pay hush money to porn stars. This guy is a wannabe authoritarian. Of course, the rest of the country doesn't trust him. So, yeah, Kristi, you're absolutely right. Like, you're making the case for us, Kristi, which, like, as to why Elon Musk should not have the power that he does. Because, again, he hasn't sworn the oath to the Constitution, and there's no supervision over what he's doing. Now, let's talk about kind of Kristi Noem and her feckless attack on the federal government. That line there, right? That, We can't trust the federal government. And this really reveals who Kristi Noem is as a person, because it is so easy to attack the federal government when you're outside of it, right? When President Biden was president for 4 years, and that's all Donald Trump did. We have to remember that. Donald Trump was on a 4-year campaign against the American government, and Kristi Noem helped him every step of the way. That is wannabe leaders. That's what feckless leaders do, right? They try to convince you that, oh, that big abstract thing that is government, oh, well, it's all just meant to hurt you. And you got to elect me to get in there because I'm the one who's really going to set things straight. And Kristi Noem here is reverting back to that because, again, are they doing anything to drop grocery prices, help Americans with their health care, help Americans put food on the table? No. All these things reasons why Donald Trump was elected, they're turning their back on the American people, and instead they're giving the billionaires access to the Treasury Department, which isn't helping Americans one bit. Let's also talk about the conflicts of interest that Elon Musk has. The guy has billions of dollars in contracts from the federal government. And he's the one who's picking and choosing where billions of dollars go to, not just for agencies inside the federal government, but contracts for other companies in the federal government. I mean, it's mind-blowing, the hypocrisy of the Noem, the Trumps, the Republicans, who for years it was George Soros was this boogeyman, right? He controls the government. Oh, he's got his hands on all the levers. And now, when there's like an actual illegal immigrant who Donald Trump has handpicked to just run free inside the Treasury Department, now it's, oh, well, that's okay. Meanwhile, he's cutting all of these programs for these Republicans. So not only is it mind-blowing, the hypocrisy of the Noem, Trump, and Elon Musk's, but also just how gullible these Republican voters are, that they're continuing to turn to these news sources, and people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Kristi Noem, who clearly do not have their values and their best intentions, these people's their intentions at heart. And so it's just when we see moments like this, when we see Kristi Noem kind of revert back to, oh, well, yeah, we can't trust the government. And then she has to really think about like, oh, that's right. No, I'm in the federal government. It's because she is a wannabe, right? A wannabe leader. She's feckless, but she's also just playing the part. And she hasn't, because she doesn't really know how to be a true leader, she will never be a true leader, and she'll constantly revert back to her old habits, which is just being lazy and doing the easy thing, which is attacking the government from the outside, despite her being a Trump nominee, a Trump cabinet official, which is also pretty damn depressing in and of itself, that this person who, she's clearly an actor, she's clearly a stooge for Donald Trump, that she's the person who is helping to protect the Homeland. She is responsible for FEMA in her position, which is now she's now saying that she wants to go after. So the next 2 years are going to be full of moments like this because they don't have any real policies to help the American people. Instead, it's all just cronyism and corruption at work. And we're going to see them revert back to these attacks on the federal government. Like somehow they still don't have all the power when they actually do. We're going to see that for 2 years, but the American people, they're not going to buy it. I'm hoping. And so I'm hoping that in 2026, during the midterms, we'll kind of correct that and we'll bring back in true leadership. And then true leadership into the houses, into the Senate and the House of Representatives. And then we'll see some maybe investigations into this stuff. And then we'll really begin to see the damage that has been done by Elon Musk, Donald Trump, the Kristi Noems, and we'll start to get back on the right track. But the next 2 years, they're going to be full of moments where Kristi Noem, the stooge, is pretending like she's not in government, which is just completely absurd. But let me know what your reflections are down in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed to Reflect yet, be sure to do that so that you get my future videos delivered straight to you. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is Brendan Plank with Reflect Politics here on YouTube. I'll see you in the next video.